So let's look at your problem very practically. So whatever the nature of your problem is actually irrelevant. So we're not going to get into that. But we're going to look at how you're dealing with the problem. That's what's relevant to you. Now, the way to do this is to actually really understand what I just said. That whatever form of problem you're going through, it's the content, essentially, that matters. Because problems are going to come and go all your life. There's always going to be something that needs attention. And it's okay. You can give these things attention on a worldly level. But if you really want to understand the nature of yourself, you need to consider that the content, meaning what's the essence of whatever it is you're dealing with, is really the journey that you're on. And the only way that you're not going to really know this is when you're in the thick of it and it's consuming you to the point where it's really hard to look deeper than what's going on because the pain is too intense. But realistically, this kind of strategy of knowing that you're on a deeper journey than whatever is being expressed in your life situation. Knowing this is going to help you move through it. This is actually the most practical way to deal with your life situation, is to understand that there's an essential part of it in everything you do and what's happening to you that is far more important than the situation that's going on. So to be with this process, this knowing that life is mostly an inside job rather than an outside one, knowing this is going to actually surprisingly make you happy, and whatever you're going through, it won't weigh you down. This takes the majority of the weight off your shoulders, and it gives you a deeper meaning to what's going on for you in your life. If you don't do this, then you're caught. You're caught in the phenomena, and you're in a trance, to be honest. Even though it feels like you're conscious, you're not really conscious, because your attention, which you have full control over, is fixated on the reaction to whatever's happening in your mind and in your thoughts and all the phenomena going on, whatever you see and hear. So this is not easy. I'm not saying this is easy, but you want to relax into the process. This is what allows you to see the essential nature of it, the deeper essence of what's happening for you. Because if you don't relax, you're resisting. And when you resist, it becomes chronic, and that's what suffering is. So life can be painful. This is not to say that things don't come at you that will hurt, but if you relax into them, they stay painful and they don't turn into suffering. Suffering is when it gets stuck to you and it's consistent now in your experience. So we all have some of these sufferings that are built into us from childhood, and we might have adopted them from our lineage, etc. So there's two things here that you're going to do. You're going to relax into the process of life as it's unfolding for you. This helps release this stuff. And you're also going to be aware not to collect more stuff, because you want to get rid of what's there that's kind of the garbage inside you, and you don't want to collect more garbage. So why would you do all this? Why would you go through this? Well, when you're exhausted, knowing that every other avenue doesn't work, that's one way that'll get you there, because you'll finally hit a wall and you look for a new solution. The other way is to sort of foreshadow a little bit before things get too bad. You start to see the emptiness of things, and you start to see how the main ingredient in life is you. And your experience is much more so dependent on what's going on inside you than what's going on outside of you. Everybody just wants to feel okay inside. Everybody just wants to feel good. But the stupid way to approach this is to think that whatever you get outside of you or fix outside of you will essentially help you feel good all the time. But it won't. That's the trick. Things make you feel good temporarily, but if we don't understand the essence of what we're doing here, then we start to become disillusioned because our strategy isn't working for us. And on some level, we have no idea what else to do. But here I am telling you that the way to get through this, the way to understand your life, have meaning, have joy, have connection, all these things that you're actually looking for, peace within yourself, is through understanding the essential nature of all of your experience, which is to be present with it, to be aware of it, to release those things that block the distortions that basically cripple your experience. And like I've said before, this can be very obvious and very big, or it can be very subtle. And like anything, you'll get better and better at it, but you have to understand the nature of the process, and you have to understand the problem, the nature of the problem, so that way you actually attend to the solution, because no one else can do this for you but you. I can talk about it, but you got to do it. And you can learn this in all kinds of ways, but realistically, the practical way, they all kind of point to the same thing. You want to catch and release the contractions as they come up. And you might say, well, they're not coming up. Well, you're not looking hard enough, because they're there sometimes and they're very subtle. Unless you're really advanced on this path, you're going to have contractions coming in at you all the time, basically. And it's important to realize that you're only contracting around a very small percentage of what you're experiencing, but because those contractions dominate you, they take up most of your experience. Most things pass through you neutrally and you don't react to them. But a lot of things, actually relatively a very small amount of things, but it's still a lot of things, cause you to contract. And those are the ones you want to look for. So you need to get honest with yourself about it. You got to recognize the nature of the problem. You got to recognize that you don't understand reality. And if you do think you understand reality, you try to control things, and that hurts. That hurts you. So you have to recognize that you don't understand reality and that you want to undo your private version of reality that causes you to suffer. Yes, of course, I feel like I have to say this all the time, but of course you do make changes sometimes. But the changes you make are way less than what you think you need to do. Right now, you're kind of running around trying to change everything all the time, thinking that's the solution to how you feel. Sometimes you got to make changes, but most of the time, you got to relax into what is. You got to be with what is. That's the essential nature of the problem you're dealing with. It's a problem because you've made it a problem. And this is not apathetic. This is not to say people can step all over you or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that you fundamentally want to relax into the situation, and if a change needs to be made, you do it from that relaxed place as best as you can. And it's not always easy, but it is the same strategy no matter what it is that you're going through. So give it a try. Maybe you're already doing it, but get better at it. Learn to be the master of yourself. That's what this is. You can still be a swimming coach or whatever the heck you want to do. It doesn't take away from your life, but it gives you the juice. It gives you everything that you're actually looking for, and it tunes you in to actually what you are. To understand what you are with all these distortions going on is basically impossible, because it's an experience, and you can't experience it because there's a whole myriad of problems built up against it, which is all just an appearance. But because that appearance feels very real to you, and the mind makes it real to you, then so be it, you're in it. So you got to look through these things and you got to release them.